Questions for Coach Hopson?
Everybody sounded pretty upbeat about this morning's workout, how things go.
I think, Pat, it's probably, I think in different field zones, I think different sides won. I thought if I had to give the edge, I'd give the edge to the offense today. I thought the offense made plays. I thought Nick had some really good throws. DJ had some good plays. Isaiah, all the guys. Drill had some good plays. So I thought it was pretty competitive. And you always kind of, as a head coach, you like to see that 50-50 battle. But I thought it was a lot of back and forth.
Coach, we kind of talked all week that since camp opened, it's been back and forth. One day offense, next day defense. Have you been a part of the camp, where it's been so back and forth?
Lanny, I don't know if I have on such a daily basis. You had usually there's 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden the offense was 2 or 3 days, and the defense 2 or 3 days. But this has almost been like it's Jekyll and Hyde. One day the offense shows up, the next day the defense shows up. But there's been a lot of competition, and that's what you want. You just got to keep battling.
You feel good about your depth situation and running back? Can you give us an update on Patrick Brooks?
Well, Patrick's he's probably out for the year. He's got a hip injury, and I'll let Todd, you get with Todd and give the specifics on it, but I think he's pretty much done. Just looking at the running back situation, I thought today George had a big day. I thought he made some plays, which was good. And George is coming off injury, Tez is coming off injury, but that's something that I was pleased to see today with George, and we just got to continue to keep building depth there.
Some people have said this is a hurry-up type offense. Is that the case, and why do you like that?
I think that's probably the modern day spread. It really is. I think that's something that, just having coached for 25 years, I think it's stuff that stresses defenses, and that's what you want to do. The game has certainly changed, and I think the spread has changed the game. I think it's all fair, safe to say 10 years ago that 3-0 or 7-3 score kind of went out the window, So it's an offense that definitely is a pressure offense and makes the defense be accountable.
Coach, from a defensive scheme standpoint, what's been the biggest adjustment for those guys, just from a, like I said, a scheme standpoint and a mentality standpoint of what you bring to the table?
I think we've just always kind of done what we do. So at the end of the day, I think everybody's picked it up pretty well. I really do. Everybody's playing hard. That's what you gotta have. And so it's all about assignment football defense. The real truth and the honesty of it is most defenses do pretty much the same stuff. It's kind of like offenses in the spread. There's a lot of similarities. So the biggest thing is just getting used to different words and names and all those things.
Will Freeman, one of the first impressions about playing off the tackle, he had been not being the biggest fan of that idea.
Right.
Does he seem like a natural fit?
He does. Will's a guy I still want to play both ways, man. I really do. I still want to get him. I think next week I'm probably going to get him, knock the dust off a little bit defensively. But he's a guy that's taken to that offensive tackle role like a duck takes to water. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a natural there. I really do. And he's long. He's got all the tools that you need to be an NFL offensive tackle, and I think he probably realizes that too, and understands it's really an asset. You remember a few years back we had DeMar. I think that one year he came out, he was blocking field goals, and he's been a long-term offensive lineman in the NFL. Will's that same type of frame. He's long, he's tall, he's athletic, and he's tough. So I think hopefully we can get him. I really do want to get him both sides of the ball and give him a chance to do that. I think that's kind of special, and I think he's a player that can do that. And offense will probably be his home, but we want to take him and get a few snaps out of him on defense too.
Jerry McCorvey, he's kind of injuries or whatever, had a hard time staying on the field.
Yeah.
Have you been encouraged with what you've seen?
Jerry's had a good camp. Jerry, of course, Raper was injured this spring too. Both those guys had injuries this spring, so they're just kind of knocking the dust off too a little bit, and they're getting going. And I think he's had a pretty good camp so far.
What about-
Casey going and Mike going and DJ kind of stepping up as the go-to receiver. Now, what are some of your expectations for him?
Well, he's got, I always said, and I said to them what I've said openly in public, that's one thing we talked about way back in spring. If you looked at like all the production numbers, that was about 70% of the receiving game. Those guys and a couple more, they had a ton of yardage, but the reality is it's another guy's time. It's DJ's time. And DJ's had a great camp. He had a great spring going until he had a little injury, but he's back healthy. But it's his time to be that 70%. We always like to say, let's be 75. But at the end of the day, it's his time. That's football. It's another guy's time to step up. And so he's a guy that we're counting on stepping up and making plays. He's a hard worker. He's a guy that comes out to work every day. And he and Nick really have, I think they have a great chemistry. And so he's a guy that we need to make a lot of plays for us.
How have you seen that chemistry grow between those two in your short time here
I'll tell
already?
you, it's there. You can see it between receiver and quarterback, but DJ's a guy that again he puts the work in too, and he comes out every day. So we're glad he's a Golden Eagle, and we need him to make plays this year.
That first game against Kentucky, is it somewhat of a measuring stick? I heard Nick say, you talked about 15 years since USM's been a
Well,
SEC.
Cap brought that to my attention back on the coast right there. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, and then again, I don't know, Pat, you tell me, we didn't, after the Alabama game with that series, we didn't play many for a while there.
Yeah.
That's what Southern Miss over the years has been built on, Power 5, playing Power 5 teams, and that's just the reality of it. We know Kentucky's a great football team. We know LSU's a great football team. We know we've got a tough schedule, and but the bottom line is, we got to prepare hard and compete, and that's what we plan on doing.
What makes Kentucky great? What could give you guys some trouble?
Well, I mean, you look at a team last year that's 5-7, but you look at their scores. They had a lot of games that they lost by like 3 points, 7. They had 7 points. I mean, they were a football team that started off, and y'all know better than I do. But didn't they start off like 5-2 or 4-2 or something? I can't remember, so don't quote me if that's not accurate. But I think they started off very good, and they played a lot of people close and had a chance to have a really big season.
You talked about this being a dream job for you when you took over, but that first game when you played against Kentucky, coming out as the head coach as opposed to assistant coach in the past for the Golden Eagles, what's going to go?
It's football. I'm pretty low key. I'm a low key guy. It's football. We got a game to play and a job to do, and that's football. We just got to go. That's the reality. You better always stay focused on the task at hand and not on the emotions. You'll be in trouble. And we know we've got to have our A game, and we know we've got to play an assignment. It's a mistake-free football game.
I've heard a ton of players say mean, nasty. How mean and nasty are you guys going to have to be to hang that banner in the Eagle Walk?
Well, it's just a tradition. I mean, it's not like it's some tradition that I'm bringing to the table. That's the tradition of Southern Miss football. And so at the end of that tradition was here long before I was born, and so at the end of the day, I talked to Coach Carvey last night, actually. I had the pleasure of talking to him, the original Big Nasty. And so at the end of the day, Southern Miss football is about being tough. It always has been about being tough. And when I'm long gone and dead, guess what? It's still going to be about being tough. So that's not anything that I brought to the table. That's just the tradition of Southern Miss football.
You spoke about using Will on defense as well, getting a couple snaps. What role will that be in? Would it be a situational pass rusher inside or base end and goal line situations? What role will it be?
I think Will, having played defense in the spring, I think he's a smart guy. I think he can do it anywhere on the field. You don't just have to have a situation. The thing that you would have to be careful of is, having a package of, maybe 15 things that you do while he's in the game, so you probably couldn't throw out all 55 or 60 things you're going to do, but just all of a sudden just kind of package it down where, he's got things, but it's still got to be multiple enough that, it keeps everybody honest.
How have the players adjusted to the new staff?
I hope well. At the end of the day, you have to ask the players that, but I know this, I love coaching them. We got some great kids that they're working hard. I think the one thing that I saw when I first got here, the guys really, they had a Southern Miss spirit. They came through off season, working hard, competing, and that's what we have to do, you know. And one thing, they've been a joy to coach, I can tell you that. I can only speak from the coaching side of it. I love being around those guys. I love every part of coaching, I can tell you that.
Coach, a lot of players today called you a player's coach. What does that mean to you? What do you think that means?
Well, I think one thing, I am a player's coach. You know, my journey in coaching, it goes above and beyond a win and a loss. You know, one thing, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I want those guys when they're 45 years old to stop by when I'm fishing in Bovina and come by and say, hey, I want to see Coach Hop, see what he's up to today. You know, and that's the reality. You know, the bottom line is they're successful when they're 40. I did my job. You know, and again, as a coach, you got to go through a lot of adversities to really see life that way. And I think that's one thing the adversities of coaching has taught me. So again, you know, that's what I hope I have. You know, and it's been a joy to come back to Southern Miss to have all my former players. That's been fun. You know, have them come back and you know, we're successful and have good jobs and supporting their families, and you know it means a lot to you when you get older, especially when the gray hair pops in like this. So,
You're planning on retiring in Bovina?
I said I'm fishing in Bovina, Patrick. Manny might take me fishing down on the Leaf River or something right there. We might get something else going. But you know, I'm gonna die in Mississippi. I can promise you that. You can quote me on that one.